Good afternoon and welcome to From the Wings. I'm Stephanie Freed and I'm so glad that you're here with us for today's episode. I am super excited for today's conversation and our special guests who you'll learn more about in just a minute. I hope you've been able to follow along with us over the last several weeks while we've had two different celebrations of Broadway weeks. The first was for Margaritaville and the second was for what the Constitution means to me. And I just have to say, I really love the approach that the Bushnell team has taken to these celebrations, from trivia about the show to IT Matt's synopses of the shows, to the Friday night or the Friday cocktail, specialty cocktail videos. Just terrific. It's really exciting. And, I know that I am waiting to know about when Broadway is making its return to the Bushnell, as I know you are too. And these are a fun way to kind of celebrate as we get ready. But spoiler alert, you're going to find out during this episode when we're going to be announcing the new dates for Broadway at the Bushnell in 21-22. We're going to tell you today when that's going to be, which is super exciting, right? So stick with us and we're going to get to that. And then also today, we asked our followers on social media to share with us their burning Bushnell questions, their BBQs, as it were. And we have some fun questions to answer, and I look forward to that segment at the end of our show today. So questions about our history, our stages, our shows. We're going to talk about all of that. But before we jump into today's conversation, I would, as always, like to take a moment to recognize Webster Bank, our official presenter of the From the Wings series. We are so grateful to Webster Bank for their loyal and generous support today and always. So thank you, Webster Bank. Now, before I bring out our special guests, I thought it would be fun to take a look at one of those features I mentioned from our celebrations of Broadway weeks. Let's have a look at the plots according to IT Matt. This is what he thought Margaritaville was all about. Let's check it out.
Hello! Welcome to our first week of celebrations of Broadway, where we will celebrate one of our Broadway shows coming to the Bushnell until we get to open again. And this week we're celebrating Escape to Margaritaville. And for today's piece on Escape to Margaritaville, we have IT Matt with us. Hey, Matt.
Howdy. How's it going?
Y'all had a great time finding Matt throughout the theater back in December. So the Matt love is real. You even created a hashtag called #BringBackITMatt. So we did. There he is, IT Matt. Now, IT Matt, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to show you the sizzle reel for Escape to Margaritaville, the Broadway musical, coming to the Bushnell. And you got to tell us what you think it's about.
Oh, easy.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Have you seen the show?
No.
You've never seen the show. Are you a Jimmy Buffett fan? A parrot head?
You could say that. Yeah.
Okay. Have you
cool.
been to Margaritaville?
Hypothetically, I've been. Yeah.
This is going to be good. This is going to be good. All right. Let's check out this reel. See what you think.
Sit away again in Margaritaville.
Welcome to Margaritaville.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Right? It's colorful.
It is. It is.
All right. Cool. Matt, tell us the story of Escape to Margaritaville, the musical. What do you think it's about? Start to finish.
Start to finish. All right. So, Escape to Margaritaville. So I think we're starting off with a group of friends. Let's say they just graduated college, I think, right? Okay. And they're saying, let's go party. Let's go to Margaritaville. And so they go. They're having a great time. Everybody's having a blast. And yeah, you can see them there, all raising their, I think those are burgers, because they're having a great time eating burgers. And then all of a sudden, they're all lounging by the pool, as you can see here, and they go to drink their margaritas. And as they go to drink them, the margaritas start disappearing out of their hands. I think this is what happens. So everybody's looking around and they're seeing other people's margaritas disappearing out of their hands. Everybody's freaking out, right? And what starts as escape to Margaritaville becomes escape from Margaritaville. Because everyone wants their marks. And if they can't have their marks, they don't want to be there. And so this gets the owner of the Margaritaville upset. His name is Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
Jimmy gets upset, and he's got to figure out how to keep these people here. You can see people are upset in this photo here. So he's got to figure out how to make these people happy.
Yeah,
so,
no margaritas in sight in any of these photos. I understand.
Yeah. So that's got to be what happens. So Jimmy does what Jimmy knows best, and that's he grabs a guitar, right? And with one simple major chord,
just one,
all the marks reappear.
Right? Oh my
See,
God! Look at that.
We can see friendships restored here
Mm-hmm.
after the margaritas come back, and Jimmy descends from the clouds, strumming that guitar, strumming that major chord. Marks reappear, friendships restored, relationships restored. All is happy, all is well, and then everybody goes home, and I think that's how it ends. And the curtain drops. Everybody's going home. Everybody's packing their bags and going home. Curtain drops.
Going home to Margaritaville.
Show's over. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happens. I think so. Yeah.
Based on that video and based on those photos, that's what happens in Escape to Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you tell me otherwise? Like, what else could happen?
You know what? You'll just have to see Escape to Margaritaville when it comes to Bushnell to see how right.
I will.
How right or wrong you are.
I will.
I gotta say, you were pretty close.
You think so?
Yeah. No.
I'm confident.
I'm confident too. Well, thank you, IT Matt, for that great synopsis of Escape to Margaritaville. Come check out Escape to Margaritaville when it comes to Hartford at the Bushnell to see how close Matt was to describing the plot line of the actual musical. And we'll see you at the next celebration of Broadway week with Matt once again describing the next show. Thank you, Matt.
He is hilarious, right? I know for a fact that he did not get that right. It is not correct. But perhaps there's a making of a totally different show based on the story that Matt spun. Yeah, he was not right. So, but okay. So let's talk with two of the people from the team that are bringing us these exciting looks into our upcoming shows. I am so fortunate that I get to work with these two every day, Alex Paige Hatley and Taylor Shelly. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Hi, you guys. I'm so glad to be here with you. I get to be with you all the time, but it's something special about being here with everybody else having this conversation. So thank you for joining me. Typically on From the Wings, you guys are behind the scenes, right?
Right. And it's interesting to be on this side of things. A little intimidating.
Well, you're doing great so far. You're doing great. Today, we have a third member of our team who always also plays a critical role in deploying not just our celebration of Broadway weeks, but so many of other digital marketing initiatives. Shannon Pace is behind the wheel, our very, very competent driver. So we are grateful to you, Shannon, for all that you do, but especially for driving for From the Wings today. So thank you, Shannon. All right. So my friends, tell me a little bit we just saw that IT Mat talking about the celebration of Broadway. Tell me a little bit about the genesis, the premise, and the purpose of these celebration of Broadway weeks.
Sure. So I think for us, as we were coming up to a year of being closed, we had obviously been doing a lot with the 90th anniversary, and we had done a lot with the materials that the shows have been putting out, but we wanted to get back to, our bread and butter, which is Broadway. And how do we get people excited about the shows that are coming, and knowing that it could be months before they get to be back in the building to see them. So we kind of came up with this idea of, grabbing a bunch of different content and putting it together for a week of celebrating a specific show.
Okay.
Yes, and some of the things we're doing during each week is we are doing the IT Mat synopsis, which you can see in the top right corner here. I host that with Matt. We did a Halloween video, back at the end of last year. That was really fun, and we kind of have a The Office kind of banter going on. Particularly, IT Mat is very, very much like Jim, if you're familiar with that series.
Yes.
So it's very much looking at the camera and very dry, witty humor. So we had to bring him back. People were asking to see IT Mat. So this was a great opportunity to incorporate him. So every Wednesday during these Broadway weeks, he's doing a synopsis, and I've seen all these shows, and it's just really hard for me to keep a straight face. I was just watching that again. I was very surprised with myself because I'm laughing hysterically again just now. And then we also do trivia, which is really great. The team comes up with fun trivia items. We're sharing imagery and videos from these shows to kind of talk about, get everyone excited and ramped up for it. The trivia is really fun. The Constitution, what the Constitution means to me, was our most recent one. And even though I helped come up with the questions, I also got half of them wrong when we had our trivia day. So they really make you think.
They did. Yes, I'm with you. They did.
They did, not just about the Constitution, about the production itself. Mm-hmm. So, and what it's like on Broadway, and we throw in a lot of other things. And there are things that in there that you can get even if you haven't seen the show. And then another fun one is we do cocktails. We partner with someone, but we'll get more into that later. So these have been really fun. And we do one, and then we take 2 weeks off, and we do another one. And this should, with all the shows we have, line us up to about October in the fall, when we hope to see shows return. So
we're not telling it yet, Taylor. Yes, that's great. That's great. I love that they're going through the fall. But so I'm still back to thinking about The Office and you and Matt, and I think we might need to start the Bushnell as like a TV series that we stream, and just you and Matt going through the day, looking at the camera, like in the middle of a meeting. Anyway, conversation for another time. Back to celebration of Broadway. When you're choosing which show to talk about and the timing of that, is there any special thinking behind that, or is it random?
There's quite a bit of thinking behind that, actually. So we looked at, we spent a great deal of time trying to figure out what connects these shows to that week. So, for example, our next one is going to be Mean Girls, and that week takes place over the anniversary of Mean Girls opening on Broadway. So we'll incorporate that. We did Margaritaville the same week as National Margarita Day. And we talked about that on that day. So there is light connections for each of the shows. And if there wasn't a distinct one, then we found one.
Sure. Like Margarita Day.
Yes. Like Margarita Day. Exactly.
I love it. Cool. So, speaking of margaritas, I noticed that you've been doing the cocktail specials with some downtown restaurants, and we are fortunate to be in Hartford, right, with so many great restaurants, and I know we're hugely supportive of our restaurant community, and just can't wait until there are shows back up and folks are coming downtown, having dinner, having brunch on a Sunday before a matinee, and then coming to the show. But can you tell me a little bit more about that whole process of creating these cocktail shorts?
Sure. So being super connected to that downtown community is always really important for us at the Bushnell, as you know. And even early on in the pandemic, we were staying super connected to our partners and restaurant partners, providing information on whether they were open for takeout or, what their dining situation was. So when we thought of the idea to do a themed cocktail on Friday, they were the first persons we reached out to as far as partnering with having a cocktail that's themed to the show. We've done one for Constitution, which was made with all-American bourbon. And then our blackberry, or excuse me, of course we had to do a margarita from Republic. And so it's just been a lot of fun connecting with them, seeing them, reopen and working with us on these fun things that you can make at home and they're themed to the show.
I can't wait to be back in those restaurants. My BBQ, my Bushnell burning question for this though, is did you get to sample the cocktails?
Well, both of them I did were very early in the morning.
Oh no.
So it was like 9 and 10 a.m. and I wasn't quite feeling up to it yet.
So not yet. Yeah, they looked gorgeous. And, we love the Republic and Jared at the Republic, and they're such a great friend to the Bushnell and then the whole Max restaurant group. I bet it was strange though, to be in Max downtown at whatever time in the morning.
Yeah, it was very quiet. It was very quiet and still, and even the cooks in the kitchen weren't getting going yet. So it was odd, but it was kind of peaceful in a way.
Right. It's a beautiful space. So it's a great place to be, right?
Yes.
So you guys, I may or may not have promised our viewers at the beginning that we would tell them the date for our announcement of the new show dates for the Broadway shows we have coming up next season. Can you let us in on that secret?
Oh, yes. We are so excited to share that we are going to be re-announcing our Broadway dates on April 5th at 6 p.m.
That's a Monday, right? That's a Monday?
It's Monday, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to re-announce the season, but we're going to have some performances, and it's going to be live, and you'll probably see me again. I'm at this point. Me and Patrick will be hosting, and it's going to be so fun and really reinvigorate the Broadway spirit. And we're announcing some new shows.
Oh.
So So secret. Can't tell you those yet. You'll have to tune in on April 5th. At 6 p.m.
Now I have Mamma Mia in my head. Secret. I got a secret.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. I hope everyone tunes in. We've just been so looking forward, like you mentioned, to announcing these dates, and with confidence with the vaccine that we see a light at the end of the tunnel at least. So it's going to be a really fun night. And yeah, I hope you tune in.
I think that, I'm anticipating Broadway full stop, but I think I've said this 100 times, and I know behind the scenes, like at work, I've said it to you guys a million times. Just thinking about that moment, I'm sitting in my seat and there are people around me and the lights go down, the overture starts, the curtain starts rising, that feeling.
It's going to be so emotional. I think it's going to be I'm definitely going to be crying. Yeah.
Cheers.
Of all the shows, and I'd like to ask this of both of you, of all the shows that we know are on the docket, what show are you most excited about seeing when we are back up?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I think for me, it might be The Band's Visit. I remember being really excited about seeing that show when it opened, and then when it won the Tony Award. I knew that it was something I really wanted to see. I love shows that are about other faraway places. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
Was it Tony Shalhoub in the original cast of that on Broadway? Did he win the Tony?
I think so.
I would be surprised
that
if
show
he didn't.
won so many Tonys that year. He probably did. I know the lead actress from the Broadway production definitely won the Tony.
Yes.
I became re-obsessed with him because of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
As Abe, he's
so good. He's so good. Okay, Taylor, you're up.
I like everything on our season. It's such a great season. I'm actually, my guilty pleasure show that I'm really excited to watch, and I hope to see it a couple times, is Escape to Margaritaville.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It is absolutely just so fun. I mean, if you really want a serious musical and want to take away a life lesson, you're not like, maybe this isn't that show. Maybe Band's Visit is more that show for you. But it's so sweet. It's so fun. It's got a beautiful love story, and it's just the dancing, the colors. You really come away with that musical high of having a good time. Like you just went to an insane party and then you go to bed really excited. It's just so fun. I also, when I saw it with our colleague Rick, and half of the costumes on stage I own. They were costumes, but it was really fun. I was like, I own that shirt and those pants and that outfit. I was like, really? It's really interesting.
Taylor, that makes me question why in the world you live in Connecticut.
I really don't. I'm a tropical girl. I don't understand.
Right? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, if I were to think about it for myself, I feel like this is super, what's the word? Predictable. I'm really excited for Hamilton. Yeah. I feel like that show, and I saw it, I mean, I've seen it on Disney Plus, but I only saw it one time while it was with us in December of 2018. And I think I was just so excited, and I remember the feeling in the building through the whole run, but specifically that night that I came as a patron. The building was like vibrating. Like people were so excited to be there and so excited to be together and to experience this phenomenon together. And it's like a drug. Like I just want that again. I want to go back. I want to be sitting there with them. I want to feel that. I want to watch it. I want to see what I missed last time, you know? So yeah, I feel super predictable, but it's a true story.
I mean,
we do have confirmation in the comments that Tony did win the Tony Award for the Band's Visit.
Tony won a Tony.
Yes. Dick in our comments, he has written in that he said it's a great show, and that is true. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I love it when people are engaging with us. That's fantastic. Okay, well, friends, I am going to actually say goodbye to the two of you now, and I really appreciate you spending this time with me and all the time and all the work that you do on behalf of the Bushnell. I know that our patrons, our donors, our friends, our community, they get to either see you or engage with your work all the time, and you play such an important role in keeping the Bushnell spirit, the Bushnell energy alive while we are in this intermission. So thank you for today, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. I am now going to transition us to the Bushnell's burning questions. Super exciting. I love that you guys wrote in and had questions. So thank you for that. And I think that based on the response, we're going to continue this. So if you think of stuff, ask it. I might not get to it today, but we'll look at it in the future. So let's start. Somebody pop up my first question. How long does a load in / load out take for a Broadway season show? And that's from Jake. Hi, Jake. Thanks for asking the question. So it depends. Shows like Phantom of the Opera back in the day, when they were out on the road, they actually had, so the proscenium is the arch around the stage. So they had a false proscenium, meaning one that they would put up in each venue to create that frame around the stage. They had two of them. So they would always have one traveling to the next stop. So that could be being installed while we were waiting for the show to make its way to Hartford because of how long it takes. So in a show like Phantom, that load-in stretches over a long period of time. But typically, let's talk about a typical show. They close up wherever they had their Sunday night performance, strike the set there. Strike means to take it down. They load it up into all their semi trucks. There can be 22 semis, there can be 36 semis, but they load it all up and then they start hauling it to the next stop. So when they arrive at the Bushnell, the first day, so it's usually in the early mornings of Monday morning, They have our stagehands. And so at the Bushnell, we're a union house, which means that our stagehands are part of IATSE, which is the International Association of Theatrical and Stage Employees. So our IATSE stagehands are amazing. They are just the best in the business. But they do a 10-hour call. So they work with the show to load in that set, 10 hours. Then they have a break. Then they come back Tuesday and they have another 8-hour call leading into the show. So it's about 18 hours. Sometimes when a show's new to the road, that 10 and 8 looks a little different, might look a little longer because they haven't quite gotten the machine in place for how to load in, load out. They're still learning, working out the kinks. But typically it's 18 hours. So hope that answers your question, Jake. Our next question: what is the longest running show in the Bushnell's history at one time or cumulatively over the years of touring, or both? From Brian Osterman. Brian, hi, it's good to see you. Anyone who doesn't know who Brian is, which you should because he's amazing, in our holiday message video, Brian was the vocalist. Brian has been many things for the Bushnell, and I met him for the first time when he was an intern in our marketing department back, gosh, I don't know if it was 2009, 2010, but a number of years ago, and he is now an actor, and he has been to the Bushnell in The Sound of Music, and just terrific. So thanks for your question, Brian, and thanks for the joy you bring to our to the Bushnell all the time. But the longest running show. Okay, so I asked this question of our resident historian, who our From the Wings viewers got to know in our very first episode, Ellen Nadala. And Ellen, she wasn't 100%. She and I were both kind of on the same page, though. We think it's either Phantom of the Opera, if we're looking cumulatively, Phantom of the Opera or Lion King. So when Phantom came for the first time, it came and it was a thing, y'all. It was a big deal. And we might have some folks watching today who remember that time, but it was here for 5.5 weeks. And in fact, we had to, if you've been on a tour of the Bushnell, you've probably heard this story, but if not, in Mortensen Theater, so our big theater, right? You look up in the mural, there are actually some holes in the ceiling. You don't see them unless you're looking for them, but we had to reinforce the entire ceiling so that the chandelier from Phantom could be hung and do the things it needs to do. No spoilers here. Anyway, so Phantom came in, sat down 5.5 weeks. Big deal. Big deal. But it's been back a number of times. And Phantom started touring in the mid to late 80s. So it could be that. But Lion King, like when Lion King first came, big deal. It's been back multiple times since then. And it sits down for like 3 weeks at a shot. So I don't know for sure, but I think it's between the two. But I also wanted to bring up, if we were to think about the longest running series at the Bushnell, and some folks watching today will remember this fondly, was the Bushnell Travel Series, which was an amazing way to sort of bring the world to Hartford. And back in 2011, we did a campaign called What's Your Story, which had been inspired by when I first started working for the Bushnell. I lived in Tampa and I commuted. I'd spend a week in Hartford and 2 weeks in Tampa for about 6 months while I was waiting for my oldest to graduate kindergarten so that we could move up to Connecticut. Anyway, I'd be on airplanes, lots and lots of airplanes. And, you'd get to talking to folks and they'd always ask me why I'm going to Hartford or why I was leaving Hartford. And I'd say, oh, I work for the Bushnell. Y'all, everybody had a story. Everybody, whether it was, oh, I had my first date there, or, oh, I had a dance recital there, or, oh, I saw this musical there, or just, there was always a story. And I was so inspired by that, like to have the privilege of working for a place that people have these connections to was just fantastic. So, with our team, we put together a campaign called What's Your Story, as I said, for folks to share their Bushnell memories. And the travel series was a part of so many people's memories. Like I remember this one story of this gentleman who, as a child, his grandmother lived at the Linden down on the corner of Capitol and Main. And she would give him her tickets to the travel series, and she'd watch him walk down the street to the Bushnell to go, and then from her window, watch him walk back, and just so many connections. So longest series, travel series, it just wound up. I think its last season was either 2008 or 2009, but it'd been running for decades before that. But yeah, so Phantom or Lion King, and then the travel series. Our next question. When did the first ever Broadway season begin? Jake, you ask the best questions, but I don't think I can answer it. I have checked with so many folks, and I'm going to have to go digging into our archives. Collective wisdom is that the first series was probably when Phantom came. We'd had Broadway shows before that, but the first time there was enough product coming to the road from Broadway to create a series would likely have been around the time of Phantom. So mid to late 80s, but I will commit to digging into the archives and seeing if I can find that very first season. And in our next BBQ, I'll get you that information. All right. And then what's something that the Bushnell does that most people wouldn't realize? And that's from Natalie P. Hi, Natalie. So, Natalie, I think that a lot of the components of our education programs that don't get as much publicity necessarily, like we talk a lot about our partners program and our Ensign Darling Vocal Fellowship, but we do a number of programs quietly. We've worked with incarcerated youth. We, have our Noah Webster Magnet School Jazzicians program, which is just terrific. We do Family First Nights, which is a program that we work with the Broadway League, where we enable local families who might not otherwise be able to come to a show because price is prohibitive for them. We enable them to purchase tickets through a special program, again, in partnership with the Broadway League. But yeah, I think there's a lot about our education programs that folks don't realize. The Bushnell we're so much what's on our stages, but we're also more than what's on our stages. And that inspires me, I know, all the time, the work we do, because the arts have changed my life. I think they make us smarter. They make us, they inspire us. Yeah, the arts are so important. So I love the programs we work on that I get to talk about. So I think, Austin, is the Bushnell really haunted? I can't tell you, but I guess we just have to see in the dark sometime, I guess, but just kidding. I think that, is the Bushnell haunted? I don't know the answer to that. I guess it depends, but I know that I feel the energy of the people who come in and out of our building. When I'm there and it's empty, I still feel that energy. It's such a special place. So if it's haunted, let's believe it's haunted by a good ghost, right? All right. So that is our time today, you guys. And I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with me again today. As we wrap up our conversation, it's just a reminder that during this extended intermission, we are especially grateful for the continued commitment of Webster Bank and our intermission partners. On your screen are many of our current corporate and foundation supporters. It's thanks to their generosity and the support of our individual donors that we are able to continue our work to bring the very best in arts education and the performing arts, both virtually and when the time is right and it's safe to do so, live on our stages and in our classrooms. And of course, as we always discuss, your support through individual giving, through ticket sales, through your subscription, it helps sustain us and ensures that we're going to be here and ready to welcome you back when that time is right. I hope you'll consider renewing your gift or making your very first gift in support of that work today by visiting bushnell.org/donate now. And then as a reminder, if you haven't already, sign up for our e-club, join us there, visit us on Facebook and Instagram, stay connected because there's lots of good stuff happening. And I do feel like over these next few months, the information is going to be gearing up. There's going to be more to tell. There's going to be more we're certain of. And I don't want you to miss a thing. So sign up and join us. And then I hope you'll join us for our next episode of From the Wings on Thursday, April 8th, with our special guests, Doris Sugarman and Ruth Cullen of the Connecticut Forum. I can't wait to talk with them about what they've been doing during this time away and then what they're most looking forward to moving into hopefully a new season and new opportunities for those discussions that they bring to our community, which are truly remarkable. So join me. It'll be a great conversation. And until then, I hope that you take good care and we'll see you soon.